Hello everyone! In this video I want to talk about the latest progress in the studio, what I have been up to, also some of the thoughts and realizations that I have been having lately about the growth and maturing, and especially about slow growth. But before we dive into it, make sure to subscribe and hit notification bell that you not miss any of the new videos. For those who don't know me, I'm a professional artist, traveler, dreamer, creative. I make video about my studio, life of the studio, travel updates, travel vlogs, thoughts on art and life and creativity. And lately I have been processing a lot this idea of slow growth. I even made a reel about it, and I put so much time and work into crafting it because I thought it was like really lately on my heart to share this part of the journey. Because I feel like these days with social media and everything being so fast-paced, and you only see like those snippets of perceived or established success, you don't see everything that goes behind the scene. People are not always showing you in those pieces of content or like communicating how much work and time and sometimes years went into like achieving one of those steps that seem so easy in the moment. And I myself find it's really difficult not to rely on getting overnight success. From a really young age, I wanted to be an artist, I wanted to be a creative, I wanted to be an influencer. And somehow this idea got rooted inside of me that in order to do so, that has to be some of those moments, or like one moment, like where somebody discovers you, somebody notices you, or you get this like one good divine appointment with like some influential person that like can drive your life forward, or like this one contract, or this one, like these days I feel like we watch over the numbers and followers, and I'm guilty myself in that, and like I also start thinking like, okay, one video going viral, things like that, like you name it, like it's like there's so many ways of how it can look for us, but we think like this one thing gonna like propel us forward. And without this, we kind of like scattering our attention in our life and our businesses, trying to chase those areas where we think could be this overnight success, or could be this like shortcut on how you get in life where you want to be, or in your career, or in any area. And it has been really draining personally for me, and really frustrating to only experience slow growth. So it is, though, I see more and more as a gift and a really valuable lesson that I'm learning, that those things, like you cannot put your expectations and your goals to achieve overnight success, because it's like, I mean, I never had one, and to expect that it will happen and like when it happened, how it happened, like it's just not predictable. It's not predictable success. Slow growth and just consistently working on your craft, on your task, showing up daily to your work will lead to predictable success. It might not be fast, it might not be noticeable in the moment, but it for sure you can expect it to bring fruit, because as you're showing up daily and as you're practicing whatever you're doing daily, like it will build your skill, it will build your confidence, it will build your authority in whatever field you are working on. It's not so noticeable in the moment, and it's really frustrating, but in the same time, this kind of growth, when you really learn to be good with it, is more sustainable, and you less likely to burn out, you less likely to wonder if it's gonna last. I know, like we all heard those stories about people who won the lottery and then they all have all of this money, but they never handle money well, they never like learn to invest or handle finances. So when they get this, they just spend it like and on all of these flashy things that they thought they need for their like happiness or success, and they're like not handling it well. So it's like they come back to the same point where they started because they just cannot handle it. So I have to remind myself of this principle over and over, because It's not about the following on the numbers, it's not about one opportunity, one good contract, because those things would not last. And if you only rely on that and not on your own progress, not on your own work ethic, not on your own growth as a person, either through ups and downs, ebbs and flow, and good and bad times, and like how you face a situation, how you get through them, how you get back to work when you had a bad day or like bad painting day, or when things just turn out how you expected. I feel like it's way more powerful and it's a good growth. So learning a lot about this and thinking and processing of where else those flashy things like got me having not realistic expectation of where I am in life and like how I built my art career and my business. So I hope it resonates with you and you can also get something from it. Just felt like sharing. Meanwhile, I have been working on lots of paintings this week. We don't have power outages right now, already for a couple of weeks, so that has been a blast. Now I have to like relearn again my schedule, my working routines, because we do have AC running all the time and light in the studio, so I can paint a lot more. And that has been great. Feeling really grateful, so have been able to do a lot of good work. I finished, I think, almost 5 paintings this week. I'm gonna show you just in a moment. I had to learn to leave them when I think they're like 90% finished, and that's where I usually sign them already, because sometimes I feel like maybe I want something more. I don't quite know what more I could do to this piece, but I like leave it and like I will come the next day or a couple days later, I will look at it and then I'm like, no, it's done. So it's like just not to overwork it. So I sign it when I think it's like 90% done, because then it just mild changes or no changes. And sometimes art just needs time to really settle inside of me to know if it's a final product. So this is one of these pieces that I was telling you that I feel like it's 90%, 95% finished. I want to do some mild touch-ups on the corn, or on this plant. I call it corn just for fun because it reminds me of corn. It's really unique Australian plant that just makes me happy looking at. I want to plant it in my backyard when they have one. I don't know if it's allowed though. Can you just bring plants from a different continent and plant it in your backyard? Not so sure, but I'm savoring on the idea. So really love that plant. Got really inspired by it. I'm really happy that I left a lot of the underpainting and the inks showing, and I feel like it's really joyful piece. And it calls Simplest of Things, and for me it's about how simple things like this corn tree branch. Australians, just let me know how this tree called, because I could not remember. I just really love this piece. Excited to let it dry and put final touch-ups and frame it. So I also work on this piece a lot more. If you are watching the journey for how the weekly video updates, you know how it started. Really different. I really love this part with kind of sun. I added more oils since the last time and increased the vibrancy a lot. I'm still not sure how much more of this more busy parts I want to fade. Also, it kind of looks like there's like 2 round circles, which is like, this one is intentional, this was kind of not intentional. So I kind of like the idea of this like intentional sun and moon, or complementing controversial in the same time. Don't know what it is, but from the other side I just want it to be just this part refined and everything here to fade. So I'm still making a decision on that, but I'm way happier where it's going. It definitely gives me this sunset, sunrise, dreamy vibe from all of the beautiful sunsets and sunrise in Australia, and the color and the vibrancy, so I'm happy about that. I also repainted this piece quite a lot, so it's also in oils right now. I know you guys were telling me, some of you in the comments to the previous vlog, that it was looking good as it is and I shouldn't overwork it. But basically the next day after we filmed that video, I just felt a bit unhappy with this piece, so I went and I started adding more colors over here. So then it transformed into what it is now. I definitely like that there's more texture and more layers right now with it, and I like the sun coming through in this part, but still don't know where it's going fully. And this one being really experimental, so it takes its time. But I'm kind of enjoying this process of not knowing what I'm doing and how it will end up, because I feel like it gives me a lot more gratification in the process of the painting itself, versus when like I have an established process and I figured it all out from start to finish. And that was the main reason I believe why I switched to doing abstract, because it just feels a lot more as the collaborative process where I show up every day, I do my best, I give my best, but this divine hand and this inspiration and just this collaboration with God into creating piece and finding what this piece means and how it's gonna go in both like the meaning and the process, and the imagery is really fascinating, and I really love it. And I missed it a lot in the past, where I was just creating, I wouldn't say with less intention, but just more like from myself and what I think would be good to paint. So it's a new discovery that I really enjoy. And I'm really happy that I was able also this week to finish these two pieces. So I put all of the final details, final touches, I signed them. Now they're waiting to dry and to be varnished. So those two already have captions, and they also have poems that go with them. So they hopefully gonna be really soon on the website, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, that was all that I wanted to share with you guys today. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week.